All right, take it away, Dr. Bill.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Dr. Bill Keenan, and this is Mary Garlington. So I'm a chiropractor. It's my 33rd year as a chiropractor. You don't have to say, oh, you look that old. It doesn't work anymore. It's my 33rd year as a chiropractor. I work at McCormick Chiropractic in Limerick. I think there's 4 or 5 McCormick Chiropractics. We're a big family. So my wife's chiropractor. I've worked side by side with her for the past 30 years. Pretty darn cool. Mary's been working with us for like 6 years now.
No, 8 years.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yes.
All right. And we have probably 7 or 8 chiropractors in our family. So the reason why we're here, this is a workshop that we do sometimes in our office. It's called power stretching. And as being a chiropractor, well, muscles attached to bones, and if bones are out of alignment, muscular-wise, you're going to have asymmetry. If people stretch, and they stretch every day, their spines hold up better, so do their nervous systems. So this class is like most particularly about stretching and habits. So what's important, very much so, with stretching is that we actually do it. I think we all know, we've all started stretching routines, and we've got into the process of doing them, and it's almost like a New Year's resolution. At the start of the year, you have great grand thoughts about losing weight. I decided to stop doing that because every year I did that, I gained more weight. I figured, you know what? If I say I'm going to gain weight, maybe I'll lose it. That didn't work either, but I feel better about myself. But we'll start to do something, and unless we form the habit of doing it, it kind of falls by the wayside. And stretching is really, really important, especially as we get older. Our muscles are not as pliable. Ligaments which attach to bone are not as pliable, and we need to stretch to be healthy and to avoid injury. Most injuries, soft tissue-wise, begin within 5 minutes of waking or 5 minutes of beginning activity. So what I'm going to ask of you all is we're going to go through some very simple, I call them core basic stretches, and there's a lot more stretching a person can do. My goal is for you to take these, bring them back home, put them by your nightstand. And when your alarm goes off, if you wake by an alarm clock, or a dog, or a cat, whatever it may be, whatever your pattern is in the morning, you probably wake up around the same time. When you wake up, I'm going to want you to look to your nightstand, okay, and pick this up. And then go through these stretches in this order. And if you're doing the stretches, especially when I ask you for 4 weeks, if you do it for 4 weeks, it's going to take you, we're going to have to do 1 repetition for each stretch. You'll literally be done, okay, the first month within 3 minutes. So you can do a lot more as far as stretching, but the goal is, if you're not in the habit of stretching, and most injuries begin within 5 minutes of waking, okay, or beginning activity, the most important thing to do is to wake up and start to stretch. Personally, I abhor stretching. I'm not a natural, I love to stretch. I think I was born somewhat inflexible. I could never cross my legs as a kid. I'm not put together that way. So I was never gravitated towards stretching, but I know how important it is. So basically, I started doing these consistently, and whenever I wake up in the morning, I get these done. If I need to stretch and I'm in a bit of a hurry, I'm going to go to these as a basis, because I know within 3 minutes I'll be done with them. And something done with consistency that's good for you is going to be a whole lot better than doing something to fit and start and then you stop. Does that make sense? So, and that's like saving for retirement. I remember a story, not a story, when I was a chiropractor, my first month as a chiropractor, I was wearing shoes that had holes in the bottom of them because I didn't have, my car was leaking oil, and it was, but I had a nice dress shirt and a tie, and I looked good, but I didn't have I really had no money. And one of my first patients was a financial advisor, and he said, I want to take you out to lunch. And I'm like, oh goodness, okay, he's going to ask me to invest money, and I don't have what to pee in. I shouldn't do this. So I went out on my account and went to lunch with him. And he started going through about saving and things like that, and he finally gets to the point, he goes, what can you save per week? And I'm like, I'm not going to show you the bottom of my shoes. And he knew exactly where I was at. He said, hey, I want to give you some advice. Get in the habit of saving, okay? And if you save $10 a week, okay, you're in the habit of saving. Doesn't matter what the amount is that you're putting it away. And if you're in the habit of doing something, you're going to continue to do it. And as you make more money, you will save more because you're in the habit of doing that. So if you're in the habit of getting up and stretching in the morning, okay, even if it's just a little bit that takes 3 minutes, you have a new habit that's a really good one, and it almost has compounding interest like saving money. So my ask of you is, hey, for the next month, wake up and do these core stretches. You're gonna pick up the paper, and by the end of a week of doing it, what's gonna happen is you don't need the paper, okay, and you're just gonna do it. And one of the wonderful things about it also is half of them are done while you're still laying in the bed. Which is like, I'm like, this is masterful, because I'm not quite awake. So before you even realize how much you maybe don't like stretching, you're already partway through it, and it's automatic. Now, we're gonna hit a lot of major muscle groups. There's a lot more a person can do with specific stretches for specific things, and I would think it's a wonderful if you add on to this, but I think everyone should have a core that they go to, and if they want to be able to, I only have a few minutes, let me get something done rather than nothing. You know, something with good things better than, you know, than doing the whole thing. That's what I would ask you to do, okay? Before we get into what the stretches are going to be, okay, and Mary's gonna demonstrate this. In our office, she is like the stretch master. So she innately loves stretching. She does yoga, like more than several times a week. So, and she explains stretches in our office to patients, and I marvel at how well, I sit there and I go, wow, okay, because she's much better than I am at actually delivering them. So I asked her to come
I
tonight
hope
to be
you
able
guys
to do
under,
that.
Mike's talking me up a lot.
I'm sorry, it's okay. No, I think she's amazing. Okay, no, seriously, that's why I asked you to come tonight, and I appreciate you coming. So, some things about stretching is don't overstretch. If you get to a point and you get muscle tension, don't stretch into that muscle tension because you can injure yourself. If you're not hydrating enough, by all means, please hydrate enough. I see some people brought their water with them. Like, I can't speak enough about how important it is to make sure you're drinking enough water. And water really means water. Okay, it doesn't mean soda, diet soda. Root beer, beer, things like that, pure water. Because most of what human beings are is what? Water, okay? So we need water to get into our system. One, to hydrate muscles and basically every cell in our body. Number two is, you know, we produce waste products at a cell level, and those waste products have to get out of our body. If you're not drinking enough water, they're sitting within your body for longer periods of time beyond your head. And, okay, yeah, it's like if they're sitting longer in your body and they're waste products, which are toxins, okay, and you're not getting enough water, your body doesn't know if it's gonna get its next drink, okay, in 10 minutes, okay, or 2 days, so it's gonna retain what it has along with all those toxins. So you think you're more susceptible to get disease if you're carrying toxins around your body longer than you should on a consistent basis? Yes, 100%. So it is a really, really important thing from a health perspective to drink a lot of water. So what's a lot of water? What's a good amount of water? Anybody know? There's different theories about this.
64.
Okay.
Go ahead,
No,
that
you
just
go.
yelled
No,
it out.
I
I
wanna
just
hear
said
it.
64.
No, 64, that's an awesome start, okay?
That's
Other
an awesome
hands.
Yeah, I
start.
was gonna say 6 to 8 ounce classes.
Yeah, and like fantastic. The neat way of looking at this that I learned about 25 years ago was to get more specific. If we have an offensive lineman for the Eagles that's in August 2-a-day practices, and it's 95 degrees, and he's out there running around. Some of those gentlemen can lose, you know, like 5 or 10 pounds of weight just in water, sweat. So that person, as compared to a 95-pound dancer, okay, that's working out, who needs more water? The big dude, okay? But they both need water, so a really cool way of looking at it is to take your body weight, okay, and divide it by 2. And like, that's a number of ounces per day that you could strive to try and do, okay? Neat way of looking at it, if you look at it that way. If a person's not doing anything, like 6 to 8 classes, but bam, okay? And that's your standard, like these stretches as a standard, hey, hey, I'm gonna wake up every morning and I'm gonna make sure I get these stretches in, or at least most mornings. Hey, if I'm not drinking any water, hey, my goal is I'm gonna try and get at least 1 glass a day, okay, or 1 with each meal, okay, and then work up to 6 to 8 like classes a day. And then ideally, okay, if you can get in a range of somewhere near half your body weight, that's fantastic. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, if I do that, okay, and I have to travel in and out of Philly down to Schuylkill every morning, and you're asking me to drink half my body weight in water, and I have to drink, what might happen to you on the ride in the okay, you're gonna be doing that dance, okay, and this is like one of those. So your body will adapt to drinking more water, but you will definitively go to the bathroom a whole lot more. So be prepared, okay? You may have to kind of gauge and work with that, but your body will reach, it's always trying to reach like a midline, we call it homeostasis. So when you hit homeostasis, your body's gonna get used to drinking that much water, and believe it or not, you're gonna be not gonna go to the bathroom as much. But from a muscle, like stretching pliability perspective, the more water, the more pliable your muscle is, and the better you're gonna feel all the way around on top of that. So just a couple of things to start with that. So we're gonna get into like stretching. And these stretches are ridiculously simple, and again, for a very specific reason, is because as I pre-framed it, I want something good done on a consistent basis and something you can have a go-to. And if you have just a few moments before, like beginning a long walk, let me just get these done. By all means, okay, we're gonna add on repetition, okay, more reps after a month. Okay, rather than just doing one of each one of these, we're gonna go to 3. That'll be on you, okay? You can email me and tell me if you did it or not, okay? Or call my office and go, yeah, okay, and then just hang up, okay? I'll know what it's about. And you can add very specific stretches for very specific kind of body parts. So there's much more you can expand upon, but for the sake of, hey, pretty much everything here, most people are gonna be able to do. That's where we're gonna start, and it starts in the morning when you wake up, okay? So Mary, okay, is going to take over. Thank you, Mary. So the ones that are being done on the floor, consider this.
Bed.
This is bed. Okay, first thing in the morning. Okay, Mary's going to give a yawn. Okay, Mary's a morning person. Okay, so we're going to flip over. So little side story. Mary's trying to keep you there. You can relax. Fall asleep on me. So the person in this picture is his name's Skylar McCormick, and that's my nephew. So he's one of 2 nephews and a niece. They're chiropractors. So he's been working in our office since he was in high school. So I suckered him into taking these pictures, okay? So we can have this, but they kind of, it's not professionally done. You can't tell if he's floating in air. So we go through this. And then side story is his brother, who's a complete wise guy, made a T-shirt, okay, for everybody in the family for Christmas, with this one on it. Each one had a different saying with a different, with a stretch, and spoofed on them 2 years ago. So
Only a sibling.
it was quite wonderful. So first stretch we're going to go through is knee to chest. So basically, Mary, I'm going to have you take over, do a knee to chest, and walk us through it.
Okay, so one of the things that's important, it's not the most important, the stretch is the most important, but adding breath to the stretch. So you want the exhale to be when you're in the stretch. So I'm gonna start like this, I'm gonna inhale, and on the exhale, I'm gonna pull my knee into my chest, just for 1, 2, 3. Inhale, put your leg down. Exhale, bring this leg in. 1, 2, 3. Put the
So
leg
it's
down.
not on your side like this picture, you're on
Yeah,
your
so-
back.
Not on the-
Yeah, so the first one, you're on your back.
You're on your
Okay.
back.
Yep,
Okay.
you're on your back and you're doing knee to chest.
Okay.
Yep, that's why the second page, like next one over, it looks like he's flying through the air. Or doing something, a drop kick. So first one is knee to chest, just like alarm goes off, covers go off, kind of go, okay. Once you have it memorized, you want to look at a paper, but grab them. So first one's knee to chest. Second one, okay, is going to be called the leg crossover. Again, so you're laying on your back, it's kind of hard to figure out this spatially. So Mary's had to go through that one.
And you're gonna come back. So what you do is, you're laying here, kind of your hands are kind of your, helping you to stay stable. You're gonna inhale, and on the exhale, you're gonna slowly and carefully take your leg to the opposite side. 1, 2, 3. Inhale back to the center. Exhale, right leg to the left side. 1, 2, 3. And then back to the center.
Couple of important things about this one. Number one, some people may not be able to, have the flexibility
Yes.
to get the leg over. Don't force your leg over. If you're tight as can be and you can get it, and your leg is that far off the floor, then that's what you got for the day. Little by little, you're gonna find that the leg starts to go further and further over. We don't want you to injure yourself. Repetition daily, you're gonna be able to get further and over. Number two is, some people just, they're not gonna be able to bring that leg over at all, but they have a hip replacement or something like that. So Mary, could you do the modify?
Yeah, so there's a couple of modifications. Sometimes this might be too hard or uncomfortable to bring your neck all the way down. You can always take the opposite hand and just kind of prop your neck up just a little bit. For the modification, for the bottom half, you're gonna bring your foot right to where your knee is. This arm is out, inhale, and then you're gonna exhale as you come here. Sometimes this is too much, you could just take your arm and put it here. And just exhale for 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. I like to bend my knees in between. I have a bit of a wonky low back. So when you bend your knees, it always takes a little bit of pressure off that low back. Straighten the opposite leg. You're gonna switch arms as you come over for 1, 2, 3. And come back to the center.
The other third caveat is, the first time you're doing this, if you're able to bring your leg all the way over and you kick your significant other while doing so, you can blame me once. You're not gonna get away with it twice, okay? Question?
I usually turn my head all the way the opposite way. Is that
You
good or
can
bad?
do that as well, absolutely. You can incorporate that.
Yep. So, and muscle groups, you can see which muscle groups, this is a very generalized stretch, as most of these are. We want to get things moving, especially when you wake first thing in the morning, especially as we get older. Like each vertebra in our spine -1 is separated by a disc. And discs, they lose like direct blood supply by the time we're in our mid-30s. So when we're sleeping at night, essentially, we need waste products to get pumped out of the disc, okay, and more nutrients to get pumped in. But most of us will sleep, fairly sound, and in one place. You don't have a lot of motion. So when you wake first thing in the morning, to have movement right away helps, like, basically prime your engine of your spine and your discs. It's another important reason to make sure that we do stretch, but we do it responsibly. It pulls bad stuff out and gets good stuff in. Okay, thank you, Mary. Third one is the cat stretch. Okay, so we're going to go through the norm, and there's some people, again, may or may not be able to do this.
So we want to be on all fours. One thing that's really important is that your joints are stacked on top of each other. So you want to make sure your hips are on top of your knees are parallel. When you put your arms down, you want your shoulders, elbows, and wrists to be in a straight line. When you inhale, you're going to drop your belly button towards the mat and look forward. When you exhale, you're going to think about taking your top of your head and your tailbone and meeting them in the middle. I always joke, unless you're in Cirque du Soleil or USA Gymnastics, that's not going to happen. So you inhale here, exhale, curl like this. Inhale, just hold this one for 1, 2, 3, and then exhale for 1, 2, 3.
So guess what people may have a hard time with that?
Kneeling.
Some people have knee replacements, like kneeling might be really difficult. So anything that tends to like not feel good, or for some reason you feel, hey, that may not be the best for me, exit off and move on. And often, like, you'll be able to find a replacement for that. There's always another way to stretch a body part that's going to be good for the person. So with these are recommendations. If something is a no-go and you just sense it or know it, don't even try. If you start to do something and you feel like, not good, then you're done with that one. If you think maybe it was just a position thing or just that day, go back to it the next day, try it again. If you get the same response, that means that's probably not the one for you, okay? And you can research an alternative for that. But that one's a great one because one, basically you're stretching abdominal muscles, core muscles, front and back. And as your belly goes down, okay, it's opening up the spaces in your low back, okay? And then when you go back up, it's doing the opposite.
Do it in the other way.
Modification is like hold the kitchen sink, like lean into the kitchen sink standing up. And you can still do that.
Mhm.
It's the same-
100%, so you can do,
Same stretch.
you can do it standing up, and it is the same stretch, which is wonderful. So you get the same thing done.
Mhm.
So at this point, you're still in your bed, okay? Doing just one repetition for each one. So the next part is you're gonna like take your legs, you're gonna swing off, and you're gonna sit down at the edge of your bed. From this point on, you guys are gonna participate after Mary does it, okay? So what we're gonna do is cervical stretches or neck stretches, okay? So neck stretches.
Wait, maybe I should bring the chair.
That's what we're
here
gonna
so
do.
people can see. Or I could just stand up.
Nope, let's do,
Okay.
that way, because we're gonna do it real time like you're in bed.
Okay.
Even yawn. So, cervical stretches, like essentially, like you can think about north, south, east, and west and turning. So, here, 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 turn, turn. So Mary's gonna go through flexion first, and I want everybody to go along with it.
Stretch with me. So you're gonna inhale, and when you exhale, you're gonna drop your chin down to your chest for 1, 2, 3. Inhale, come up. Exhale your head back for 1, 2, 3. And come back to the center. Just let your breath and that big bowling ball do the stretch for you. You don't have to force anything there, okay?
Okay?
Side.
Yep,
All
side
right.
to side.
So the next one you're gonna do is very similar. You're gonna inhale, but when you exhale, you're gonna drop your right ear to your right shoulder. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the left. 1, 2, 3. Just go to your level of comfort. Again, don't force, just back and forth. And this is one that I find myself doing like at traffic lights all the time, because I'm just like, oh, that feels so nice. You know, maybe not this one, but back and forth is okay.
Okay,
And over the
rotations.
shoulder? Okay. And the next one, very similar, inhale, but when you exhale, you're gonna look over your shoulder. For 1, I zoom, 1, 2, 3. Inhale back to the center, exhale to the left side for 1, 2, 3.
Simple as that. So Mary made a really good point. Essentially, as you're turning, when you feel like it's tight, you're done. The cool thing about cervical, especially rotations and lateral flexions, like you may get caught right here, and you should be all the way over here. If you're there, you let gravity do the work for you. You don't try and push it. You don't grab anything. You don't force anything. The more frequently you do this, you're slowly going to start to get degrees back, okay, on lateral flexions and especially rotations. So it's a really neat thing to watch that happen. It's really cool, actually with any muscle group, but especially with your cervical spine, your neck. You can see those come back like fairly quickly, but don't force anything. Like if you, as soon as you feel it tighten up, that's your spot. You're like you keep it there, breathe and hold. Okay. So at this point, you're still in bed. Sorry, it's time to get out of bed. Okay. All right. So we're gonna do touching toes.
Okie dokie. This is another one, you just wanna go to your
We're
level
doing
of.
this too.
What's that?
We're doing this.
Yes. Stand up. Thank you. Just stand up. From this point on, you guys are all in. All right.
And something that is important, don't lock your knees here. Just have a little, like, I mean, you have to bend them, but just make sure you're not tensing and locking your knees. Your feet are hip width apart. You're gonna inhale. I like to take my hands and just slide them down my legs for 1, 2, 3. And then you're just gonna roll back up. And that's it. Yep, and like Donna's doing, she's walking herself up and down. And so you just, if your knees are locked, you can do a little bit, maybe harm than good. So just a little bit of a bend, and you just come forward. Just let your head relax, and then you come around.
And Mary, did you go through the seated modification?
Yes, absolutely. So, really, anything that you do.
Everybody have a seat now.
Everything that you do standing, you can pretty much do sitting. It's a little bit different. You're just gonna do the same inhale.
You
I'm
guys do
very
this one also.
short, so I have to come up to the front of the chair. Just inhale, and then when you exhale, again, slide left hands down. 1, 2, 3. And then you're just gonna come back up.
And if you have really tight hamstrings, do it that way. What you can also do is straighten the legs out, and then do it that way and slide down slowly, and breathe. And slowly come back up. What was the difference between that one and the one just before, as far as what muscles did you feel?
I felt my lower back.
Lower back on the first one, but then you extend your legs, what are you stretching then?
The back of
Your
the
hamstrings, your back of your legs, hamstrings. So that's a great way. Some people, their low backs are really tight, or sometimes they have a low back that if they bend over to pick up a newspaper once every 5 years, it does one of those. So if you have one of those and you're worried about it, just starting off, the seated versions are going to be better for you. And again, hamstrings, you may not get down too far, but the more you do it, you'll go down further and further just with your own body weight and gravity. Let your body weight and gravity do the work for you on those. Okay? So we're going to go back to standing, everybody. And the next one we're going to do is back rotations.
So, again, feet are hip width apart. You're gonna, the hands are not the most important thing, but I like to keep them like this. You're gonna inhale, and then when you exhale, you're just gonna turn to the right. 1, 2, 3. Inhale back to the center. Exhale to the left. 1, 2, 3. Come back.
Perfect.
Pretty easy.
Again, you can also do that seated. So it's one of those things, you can do most of these at a desk if you're working at your desk and you need a few moments. You can either sit or stand like yoga. Next one is behind the back stretch.
Okay, so you're gonna clasp your hands behind you. Again, your feet are hip width apart. Just clasp your hands. If you have any issues clasping your hands, you can always hold a towel. Okay? You're going, and when you do this, it brings your shoulders forward when you clasp the hands. So you're gonna inhale your shoulders back, and then on the exhale, just bring your hands down, almost like you're pushing something down with your hands for 1, 2, 3. So it's an inhale, and then 1, 2, 3. You'll feel a nice stretch in through the top of the chest, bit in the arms as well, okay?
And you're kind of squeezing your shoulder blades together as you're doing that.
Yeah, the more you do it, the more you'll get some mobility up in the top so that you can start focusing more on that going backwards before you come down. Does that make sense?
Above the head.
Okay, so this is another one. You're gonna inhale, bring your hands up, clasp your hands. Then on the exhale, from the waist, just come to the right for 1, 2, 3. Inhale, come up to the center. Exhale to the left. 1, 2, 3. Easy.
All
I
right.
keep hoping that's gonna make me taller.
So, Mayor, could you go through, everybody have a seat for a moment. Could you talk about for a moment the importance of and the purpose for breathing?
Yes, well, I read during the pandemic, when we were wearing the masks, people were breathing a lot through their mouths. And that's not the best type of breathing. You really want to focus on breathing, in and out. So I started to talk more about the breath. That's really important in yoga, is the breathing. And it helps you get deeper into the stretch. So you want to do the exhale when you're in the stretch. So you're going to inhale and come up, and then when you go into the stretch is when you do the exhale, okay? So fill those lungs, inhale, exhale. It'll help you get deeper into the stretch each time that you do it. In addition to be really good for your lungs and helping with, it also helps regulate your nervous system when you're doing those breathing. When you're doing that mouth breathing, it's not good all the way around.
Awesome. So Mary, we're going to finish up with the stretching portion right now. Mary's going to go through in real time, so you guys just hang and watch. So you're gonna see it, okay, if you wake up in the morning, you do this tomorrow morning, kind of what it's gonna look like. So, Mary, I'll read them off to you. as you
Okay,
go through this.
perfect.
I know this isn't Mary's typical, like stretch, so knee to chest.
Inhaling here, exhaling here.
Leg crossover.
I personally like to do leg crossover like this. Gonna inhale, come back to the center. Inhale, exhale. 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. When you go to get up, and this is very important, always roll onto your side and push yourself up. When you come up in that Frankenstein kind of, you can really, your low back could go out. So it's always important, roll on your side, push yourself up. That's another important habit.
Then cat. Thank you, Mary.
All right. So cat-cow, back is flat first, then you're gonna inhale, drop your belly button, look forward. Exhale, curl the spine for 1, 2, 3. And come back to the center.
Okay, we're gonna sit up on the edge of the bed. Cervical stretches, you take them in your order, Mary.
Alrighty, so inhale, exhale, drop the chin down. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, come up. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale to the right. 1, 2, 3.
Toe touch. Into back rotations. Into behind the back.
All right, we'll do it this way for you.
Inside stretch.
All right.
Thank you, Mary.
I figured I'd shut up so that you could hear.
Round of
me.
applause for Mary. So that was about 3.5 minutes.
I just had a quick question for her,
Yeah.
because you were talking about the breathing. I did notice, I was always thinking that you inhale and out through the mouth, but you do it all through the nose.
I do it all through the nose. There are people that do it in and out through the yoga that I do. It's vinyasa yoga, and it's all through the nose. So that's how I do it.
Yep. But it's a completely legitimate in nose, out mouth.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Also, like either beginning or ending, because the breathing is incredibly important. Try and take at least one very deep breath. Most human beings spend 98% of our time in shallow breathing like we're all doing right now, which is normal, it's okay. However, it's not very often where we can go. Everybody do that right now. Real deep in through your nose. Hold it, and out through your mouth slow. I love cappuccino. For me, that's like a cappuccino shot. Okay? Because it'll wake you right up when you get oxygenated to that extent. That's not shallow breathing, that's deep breathing. What did you feel muscle-wise on the deep breathing? Where'd you feel it?
The chest.
Your whole
Yeah,
chest expanded. So what you did is basically like hyper-oxygenate your entire body. So, and your body requires oxygen to live, okay? And the breath you take in within 90 seconds of breathing, okay, it's basically got to every red blood cell in your body. really neat. But when you like get that much oxygen in, it's like a super boost. One, you're using the muscles that you need to do that, and you're exercising them, and you're really pulling the diaphragm down. But number two, you're getting like extra oxygen, and it'll wake you up. If you start yawning, do a deep breath like that. Most people never even think about it, never do it. Okay, that's a really important one to do. So every morning I do one of those also. That's a suggestion. So Mary did awesome with that. So again, the ask is take that, put it next to your nightstand. Try every morning for 30 days to wake up, look at it. Really within a week, you're going to have it down, and then you'll be able to go through and just do one repetition. So just to get in the habit of doing it, and it's going to be quick. And like everybody has an extra 3 minutes. Okay? You do, okay? And if you're rushing that much, come on, okay? Just like 3 minutes, and like it's you start your day this way with just a little bit of stretching. It makes your day so much better in other ways. Like any exercise first thing in the morning makes your day so much better going forward. The best time to do anything for health is always in the morning. Why? It's not even physiological. As adults,
So you do it?
So you do it.
So you do
Yes,
it, exactly.
Because once we begin our day, life happens. You can use a different word. I'm not using it. Okay, stuff happens. Okay, and you end up not getting done things that are important for you because you're typically people. Most human beings are there to serve and help others, and you have family members and people that count on you. And things get to happen. Things happen, and you don't get done what you need to get done for you. You can't be the best version of you, okay, for other people if you don't start your day with at least a little something for you, if that makes sense. 30 days, 1 repetition. After 30 days, like add on another one, or just go right to 3, because it's better to have like at least 3, okay, 3 seconds apiece. That's what we ask, and you'll have a new good habit. And by all means, add more stretches on if you wish, but you always have something that you can go to that's hitting a lot of major muscle groups first thing in the morning. And make sure you drink the water. All right?
The question.
Questions?
So those ones that are in the bed, are you able to have your pillow under your head, or you should be kicking that out?
I move the pillow, but you might need the pillow. You know, it depends on what you've got going on in your neck. So you want to make sure your neck's supported, you know? So if, sometimes you can roll like a little towel, a hand towel or something underneath there, just to have something that's supporting the C curve that you're supposed to have in your neck. So I would move it personally, but you might have to have it for like the first couple of weeks as you're starting to stretch.
That's a perfect answer, because some people can't, because they can't extend their head back all the way because of arthritis or an issue. So the neck view is perfect. Neck, that's why I love when Mary does it, because she does it so well. You want to support your head. As long as it feels supported without a pillow, great. If you feel like you need something underneath there, please support it.
Then you could go ahead and do it. Because you don't want to be doing something good for yourself and then hurt yourself in another spot.
Excellent. Well, question?
Actually, I have another question. And I don't know, this is slightly different, but I recently watched a presentation from Dr. JJ Virgin, and she was talking about that you have some, I don't know if they're muscles or whatever, but she said you have short ones and long ones. And she was basically saying if you don't keep using the long ones, they become short or they disappear or something like that. Does this help? Because she was basically saying like walking doesn't
Correct.
do it. And so I'm just curious if this helps the long ones?
It does.
It does?
It does, because you're, when you activate a muscle with stretching, you're activating long and short. They both have to get into play. That's why it's really helpful to do that. And she's right, just walking is like wonderful, but you're not like stressing or stretching the muscles, and you're not activating all the muscle fibers. So she's spot on. They didn't know who she was, but she knows what she's talking about. Stretching will do that. And like again, we're not hitting every muscle group with these stretches, but you're hitting some major ones. And that's a good way to start. And there's more that are even more specific for different muscle groups. So if we can, we want to try and, if we can, try and stretch any muscles you can stretch. But sometimes we don't have the time to do that. That's a great question. Thank you.
Anyone on Zoom with a question? Feel free to unmute.
This is slightly off topic, but
Sure.
I'm wondering, you brought up the subject of sleep. and I've read different things, do you have a recommendation for the best way to sleep, like in terms of?
That's one of my favorite.
Oh,
topics.
yeah.
Okay.
It
They're
does
not gonna
have-
like you for asking.
He just
that,
so
'cause
has
I could go
happens
for
to
an hour.
have.
Don't do that. All right, you're gonna get the death looks now. I'll make it short and sweet. That's a really great question, seriously. If we're lucky enough, we're gonna sleep for a third of our life, okay, which is 8 hours a day. So if you think about it, that's like the one thing we do more than anything else in our lives is sleeping. So what happens when we sleep? What are some, like, essentially, anybody know? What are some
Healing,
things? That's it,
recharging.
healing, yeah. So your body requires that rest, okay, to heal at a cell level. So most cell regeneration and repair happens when you're asleep. Your body slows down like every other system, and it takes the energy that was put into them, and it diverts it mostly into healing and cell regeneration. Perfect. So sleeping is really important from that perspective. So anything that messes with or interrupts sleep is a big deal. So, and there's a gazillion things that you can get into as far as like, hey, if there's things that are interrupting your sleep, okay, external things, internal things, diet, when like eating before bed, things like, you want to address that because a lot of things can affect sleep, and anything it does, it's not good for your health, like short or especially long term. Sleep apnea, okay. You know, some people either call breathing heavy, now it's snoring. Okay, and a lot of people that are snoring, they're deprived of oxygen. They actually literally stop breathing, okay, multiple times an hour, and your body requires oxygen, okay, in order to repair, recover, and heal. So sleep's important. Okay, 6 to 8 hours, great, fantastic. Like there's different levels of sleep. We're not going to get into that. Positionally, there's some really important things, and so we'll go into positions first. There's 3 basic ways that you can sleep positionally: side, back, or stomach. One of them is inherently awful.
Stomach.
Stomach.
Yeah, it's like chocolate. I'm like, you know, why does it have to be so bad? I love it so much. People that sleep on their stomach love to sleep on their stomach. I have patients all the time come and say, but I love sleeping on my stomach. I go, oh, you know, and I love chocolate. And I go, look what it's done to me. Okay, it's not good. So you know better, but you still do it. So, like, it's all about, and then bring a spine with you. It's the position of your spine. So if you're on your belly, okay, you can sleep, you know, you're sleeping face down, arms here, arms there. So the problem with sleeping face down is, well, we want to keep a straight spine when we're sleeping, because like a straight spine means your nervous system, the spinal cord attaching to your brainstem is like, straight spine it's a happy spine. From a side view, curved spine from a side view, neck, upper back, low back, that's a happy nervous system. So your spinal cord is cradled nicely inside of the spine, it's straight and curved from the side. So if you're laying on your belly, okay, well, your spine's straight and you have curves. So there shouldn't be a problem. There shouldn't be any extra stress on your spinal cord. There is, because how many people can sleep face down in their pillow? Okay.
Unless you have a massage
Okay.
table as your
Yeah.
bed.
So what's getting inhibited if you're on your belly?
Breathing.
Breathing. So what do you have to do?
Put your head to the side.
What happens, do you think, to the straightness of your spine when you're like that? Does that. So stomach sleeping is not good at all, but it really stresses your nervous system, and without getting too deep, the weight of a diamond pressure on nerve tissue, whether it be like squeezing pressure or disc herniated pressure, or laying like that, okay, it'll literally stretch your spinal cord, it's attached to your brainstem. The weight of a diamond pressure is going to decrease functional level between 2 and 50%. So your nervous system doesn't stop sending signal, but it's sending signal less efficiently, and your nervous system controls every cell in your body. So sleeping from a neurologic and a healing standpoint is really important from how you sleep perspective. So avoid your stomach if you can. If you're a stomach sleeper, like little babies, fine, okay. Infants, fine. Try and talk an infant into not sleeping on their belly. Or a toddler. You're gonna be up all night, okay? So when you get to like teens and such, and like I had like many conversations with my kids, 2 of them were stomach sleepers. Hey, eventually you're going to like get out of the habit. If you're an adult and you're a stomach sleeper, the best thing to try and do is start by getting on your side, invest in a body pillow, okay? You know, Amazon is everything. Put it in front of you and you hug it, okay? And it's going to be a barrier to you fall asleep on your belly. So that's a good thing to do. So on your side is fantastic. As you're sleeping on your side, your spine is straight and your curves are well maintained. Sleeping on your side, though, your pillow comes into play. So your pillow needs to be wide enough, okay, to keep your nose in line with your belly button. If you have a teeny weeny pillow and you're a side sleeper, what happens to your head?
It goes down.
Just do it. okay? And you can actually, like, over time, you can misalign your spine, okay, by sleeping on a pillow that's too small if you're a side sleeper. Conversely, you got this whopper, okay?
The other way.
So this is like Goldilocks now, okay? So it's hard to find pillows, I hear it all the time, and it's true. You wanna have a pillow with the width, kind of keeps your nose line with your belly button. Just kind of eyeball it, is a good way to do it. Now, side sleepers, my preference personally, but I'm not saying it's that for everybody. I have a pillow with a hump, big hump on one, a valley, and a little hump on the other. And my head cradles into that first hump and it keeps me pretty straight. That pillow also has like different levels where you can pull out, okay, and make it bigger or smaller. So to keep my nose in line with the belly button. So it's a little more expensive, but that's the kind of pillow that I use. You could use any kind of pillow, as long as it basically kind of keeps you straight and you're comfortable. Back sleepers, pillow's important also, okay? Back sleepers, your spine's gonna stay straight, but if you have a pillow that big under your neck, what happens to your neck? Okay, I said you're supposed to have a curve in your neck. What happens to it?
Goes away.
Yeah, so it literally stretches your spinal cord about 3 inches when you're in full flexion. But if you're spending 8 hours in full flexion and you're stretching your spinal cord, it affects neurology and how well like your body's functioning during that time. And I can show you a muscle test. Trust me, it does. Okay. So you want to have a real thin pillow if you're sleeping on your back or no pillow at all. If it's a thin pillow, it can be real thin. It can be thin with a little hump, so your head it cradles into your normal curve. You know, test, find out. All right. Question.
How about those ones that are, I don't know what you call it, but that they mold to your,
The memory foam?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good also. Pillows are really hard, and because they're so hard to find that sweet spot. I ended up down at King of Prussia Mall, and we had just I had too much at Cheesecake Factory once again, and I said we got to take a walk. So we're walking, and on the second floor, there's a store. It's a Sleep Number store, like the air mattresses. They're ridiculously expensive. They're kind of cool. I don't have one, but they also I saw they had like this wall from here to here of pillows. And I'm a chiropractor. I was like a moth to a flame. And my wife, who's a chiropractor also, Dr. Karen, she hates a poor shopping. So she's like, oh dear Lord, okay, I like shopping. So I went for the pillow. I go, this is business. So I went in and I was in my sweats, and the salesperson was really nice, and I just said, hey, here's my gig on a side sleeper. I can't find the right pillow. And they had all these different pillows, and so you could get on the bed. I got on the bed and I started testing pillows. Third one was like, that feels really good. And I go, but it's doing this to me. And he unzipped it and he pulled this layer out and he put it back, and I went, okay. And that was perfect. So that's where I found, I tell people to go there, but they're expensive. So like, but so is buying 8 pillows and not finding the right one. A good pillow and a good pair of shoes are good health investments. That's like, and people spend more on their bedding on top of the bed than they do on any one of those things, which is kind of like counterintuitive, but like people don't know until you do know. So, question?
Yeah, I thought about one of those pillows, but I know that I roll around a lot at night. So how does that?
So if you're rolling from side to back, the thing about the bigger, smaller, is if you roll and you end up on your back, actually I do that too. I spin the pillow to the lower side, so it doesn't cock my head up. And sometimes people that are like really rolling around a lot, they may do better with a pillow that has a little more like squish to it. And so if they get on their back, they do something like this as you're turning over. So you kind of have to fit the pillow to the person. But the thing is, to know what the rules are helps you find a pillow. So you want to have a straight spine, and if you're on your side. If you're on your back, you don't want to get it cocked up like that. So that's a really good question. I'm sorry I answered so long. That's an important one. Yeah.
do you suggest pillow under your knees if you're on the back?
Great question, because if you're laying on your back, and Mary alluded to this, when your legs are straight, your hamstrings pull, and they pull on the pelvis, and they put more pressure on your low back. So some people have a hard time laying on low back because they get low back pain, and a pillow underneath your knees is really helpful for something like that. So the answer is yes, some people do better with a pillow for that biomechanical reason. Yeah.
And just to review, you said if you're on your back, you either want a thin pillow or none, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'll
Yep.
make sure that.
Because you don't want to lean your head forward, which takes your cervical curve away. So, yeah, and you can lose your cervical curve by laying on your back, which is a good way to sleep if you have a long pillow. Brief on mattresses, good luck, okay? Mattresses are dealer's choice, because everybody, and if you have a significant other, they may like really soft and they may like firm, good luck. So, what, in those cases, like a king, like with a split, like they're almost like, to each, each person gets their own mattress. In some cases, the Sleep Number, they're helpful because they're air mattresses. One person can have as hard as they want, one as soft as they want, and now they make them with different levels of foam and firmness, but they're really expensive too. So, yeah, mattresses, it's worth, when you go to find a mattress, don't buy the first thing you see, don't get the thing that's just on sale. It's nice to have a sale though. And go in a pair of sweatpants, go with the person if you're buying a mattress with somebody. Take a little notepad or have your phone and research the place you're gonna go and find out what their policies are. If people have had a hard time returning things, what the return policy is, and then you'll typically go to a place and like to say it's Raymore and Flanagan in Collegeville. They have a gazillion, so you just go from mattress to mattress to mattress and plan on spending an hour or two, and you just talk to the person, they say, educate me, and then leave me be. And you get on the mattress, get a pillow, and lay on it how you would normally lay on it, and spend like sometimes right away, it's like, you pull up to a house, you look at a house, and like you pull up to the curbside, you go, no way. And you just move on. With a mattress, you'll get on and go, no way. Or the other person would, so move on, The ones that you get on, and you're laying there, and you go, I actually like this. Just make a little note which one it was, and have your partner do the same thing, leave, and go get a bite to eat. Compare notes and then go back, and the commonalities, go back to them, and you'll probably stand a good chance of finding the mattress that's right for you. But make sure you find out what their return policies are, because sometimes they get really not fun with mattresses, and return policies and things like that. So, but mattresses like soft, firm, Tempur-Pedic, memory foam, things like that. Air mattresses, standard mattresses, hybrids, just go check them out. Because what's good for one's not good for the other.
I was sort of going to piggyback on both of theirs. With the pillow under the leg on a back sleeper, what about a side sleeper? Sometimes they'll say.
Wonderful, yeah, the body pillow. Yeah, body pillows are fantastic. Yeah, because some people, they have shoulder issues, and you can actually create more of a shoulder issue for your side sleeper, especially if it's just like single-sided. So having a body pillow takes some stress off the shoulder, and a body pillow you can also put between your knees. And some people do much better from a hip, low back pain perspective, having that between your knees, it's fantastic. Some people it doesn't matter. I personally don't have body pillow, my wife does, but I have a big pillow I have in front of me that stops there. But it's nice to have that if you're a side sleeper. I like to have some support in front of me.
I always sleep with the pillow between my knees. And that's another one, you have to have the right size, because if it's too large, you're gonna hyperextend your hip. So it's, the pillow that I use to sleep between my knees, it's a decorative pillow, but it was just the right size. And when I first started to sleep that way, it takes you a little time to get used to it, but you will become used to that, and it'll stay there.
On what he was talking about as far as sleep positions, and you were saying these should be done in the morning. I've also heard that to help you sleep at night, there are stretches, and I didn't know if these or they're different, and you don't get into
If
it.
there's specific stretches that are like will help you sleep better and they've been researched, I'm not sure about that. However, stretching before you go to bed is fantastic also.
Okay.
But
I just
ones
know
that are
these
specific
apply.
for that
Like, could
purpose,
you do
I
this at
don't know.
night or
Absolutely.
not?
You could do
Okay.
these anytime.
Okay, I know morning to
And
get
actually
done,
stretching
but-
like twice a day is fantastic. If you're working out, stretching, before you work out, and even sometimes even after you work out is great also. My thing is I want people doing something with consistency that's good for them, and the best place to start is in the morning, especially with stretching. One, because of like the injury factor, and number two, so you get it done and you feel like physically better and mentally, emotionally better because you did something for yourself. And if your day goes to you know what after that, at least you know you got that done for yourself. So
Right.
it's not just physical. For me, it's a mental thing too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, thank
You've all been there, I can tell. I mean, people have had their day go to, you know what, before?
No, never.
So, I want to thank everybody for coming, thank everybody for,
Thank you.
you know, that's basically you watching here. Thank you for the wonderful questions.
Are you still in practice?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, it's, this is, I graduated chiropractic school in 1993. And my spouse graduated in 1993 also, yeah.
I didn't mean that in a.
Oh, no.
You're still
Oh,
practicing?
you know what, you know what? Okay.
You said something that made me think maybe you had retired or something.
No, we're, now we practice, I was, in my office until 5:30 tonight, was when we take our last patients on Thursdays. So no, we're, still actively in practice, and our, again, 2 nephews and a niece are in practice. We have, a couple, like, my brother-in-law and my wife's 2 uncles, they passed, but they were chiropractors also. And I have 2 on my side of the family, so they're all chiropractors, but we're still practicing. Family functions are really interesting. That's true.
They adjust each other.
Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you, Dr. Bill.
Just give it a go and.
Very
Thank you.